Greetings, folks. Sealer here. Today's replay features another returning guest. This is our colleague Gatecamper from the North America server, and he has shared with me a couple of recent carrier matches he had that, well, without giving away too much, these are real nail biters. As usual, I will leave links to previous videos featuring Gates matches in the description below. Now, in this first match, Gate is playing the Tier 8 Japanese carrier Shokaku in a Tier 9 epicenter match here on Northern Waters. Gate is using a 12-point commander with a typical set of carrier upgrades and skills. Notably, he has torpedo acceleration to improve the usability and performance of his torpedo bombers. Now, in past epicenter replays, I've talked a little bit about what I think are good ways to approach the epicenter game mode. As Gate is coming in here with a torpedo strike on this low health Roma. I'll say it again, to win these games, it's key to contest all areas at all times. Nice, he gets the kill on the Roma. Now, once one team gets control of an area and that area remains uncontested, the point differential widens fairly quickly, and often the only way for a losing team to overcome a deficit is to sink all opponents. I want to draw your attention also to this low health Alaska on the far left hand side of the screen, who's just taken another hit, and he's down to 1,400 hit points, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. Now, I do feel that many players dislike epicenter because I think they don't really know how to tactically approach the game mode. Maybe my impression is wrong, so feel free to leave your thoughts about epicenter in the comments. Now, I've started the replay obviously several minutes into the match. As teams typically spend the first several minutes sort of jockeying for positions and getting chip damage on each other. In fact, it was only fairly recently that first blood was claimed by the opposition by taking down the allied Błyskawica, and then, like I said, Gate had finished off that low health Roma. Again, speaking of low health ships, we just got a quick glimpse of that low health Alaska, who continues to sail away from the epicenter on the sort of southeast side of the map. And it is very important to take down low health opponents as soon as you can, because that means fewer guns and fewer threats on the map, and it also gives you point advantages. Speaking of point advantages or losses, the Allies have lost their Jean Bar, so each team is down by 2 ships. But the opponents got control of both the outer and middle rings. Thankfully, the Allies are in both rings to contest them, and also hats off to this Cossack who has remained in the center to maintain some contesting on the center. Again, nice, get a Citadel hit on the battleship, but again, we also got a quick glimpse of that, what was a very low health Alaska, and he is still fairly low health, but he did get a heal in, and he's back up to a few thousand hit points. Now, the Allies have just lost in Iowa, so they now have a 1-ship deficit, and with the fact that they have not gotten control of any areas, even for any period, they have not gotten any points from these rings or the center. Again, the Cossack continues to try to at least contest the center, if nothing else. Here we're getting a strike in on what looks like a low health. This is a Lion, which has taken a big hit. I think he took a very significant broadside hit from one of the Gates battleships. He was had most of his health until fairly recently. Couple more torpedoes on. Again, the Lion down to just a couple thousand hit points. Very important to try to take down low health ships when you can. Now, Gate, I thought, made an interesting choice here. He's going to make a run out to the far east to get eyes on the Benson. The Benson really isn't playing to the objective. I didn't ask Gate what his motivation was for going after the Benson. I don't know if he was trying to spot it for the Donskoy to try to have the Donskoy take down the Benson, but the Benson's going to smoke up here, it looks like, and Gate isn't going to be able to get a strike in on him, and he's going to circle back around and head to another target. Now, the Lion is super healing. So where the Lion had gotten down to about 2,000 hit points, he is now recovered. Well, he's almost back to half health. again, a really key reason to take down opponents when you can is that some of these ships, like the Lion and the Conqueror, once they're sunk, obviously they can't use their heals to recover. And the Allies have allowed that very low health ship to stay on the map. In fact, the Allies have just lost the King George. They now have a 2-ship deficit, and Gate is getting dropped by the carrier. Not sure that would be my priority, but he takes a tiny bit of damage from one of these aerial dropped torpedoes. You see a low health Jervis here, and again the Cossack is firing on him, try to get him down. The Jervis is taken down by the Cossack, and then the Neptune goes down from the Donskoy. So excellent. We do have a York out here on the flank that is over near the North Carolina. Gates coming in here with some, again, AP bombs. These AP bombs are very powerful against battleships and cruisers, provided you don't get overpens. You're going to get citadels here. Oh, it looks like he completely missed. Sometimes he had that misfortune. The North Carolina that was over by the York was taken down. I think the York must have had some help from another one of his allies, probably on the south side of the map. You can see that the outer or the inner and outer rings are sort of constantly in some sort of tension, swapping sides. Right now, the Allies are getting control of the outer ring, but they've just lost their Fiji to torpedoes from the Benham. And that lost a little bit of their progress on the outer ring. I'm sorry, on the inner ring. The inner ring now has an opponent that's moved into it, so that looks like it's the Lion. Uh, and here, Gate is going to come in for an attack on the York. And I don't know if these torpedoes are going to have enough alpha to finish off the cruiser, but it should be able to get him quite low on health. He is going to get... Well, it looks like the York avoided all the torpedoes. That was quite unfortunate. Now, we can see the point differential is quite substantial now. The Allies do have, again, a 1-ship deficit, but without having contesting all of the areas all the time, they continue to slip further and further behind. There is, again, a call on this York that's kind of isolated himself, or has isolated, not just kind of, he has. And Gate's going to come in here with a rocket attack. Again, if he gets a really good rocket attack, he should be able to finish off the cruiser. Wow, that 12 rockets, brings the York down to almost no health. Thankfully, the York, in this particular game, he does not have repair party or any sort of health recovery. And even just a single rocket should finish him off. In fact, it looks like he lost his engine. Gate is able to finish him off. And in fact, there was another... ship, the Vladivostok, that was taken down. So the Allies have gotten a 1-ship advantage. So they've gotten a little bit of a point recovery, but they still are down. The Allies, they have the Cossack again in the middle to contest. Gate drops some fighters for the Cossack. He's going to come in on this Alaska. Man, he is just losing planes. This Alaska has very good AA. How good is this drop going to be? Again, it completely missed. If there are any regular carrier players out there, what's your experience about how often these bombs miss? I've been hearing comments from some of my colleagues that play carriers that it kind of feels like some of these bomb drop patterns have become less effective as of late, but I don't think Wargaming's announced any changes to them. Gate, I'm not sure what happened there. I think he recalled that, and he's sending out some rocket or some torpedo bombers this time. Cossack is having to pull back here because the Alaska, with its radar, is pushed into the middle, and this is a threat to the Cossack. I got to give hats off to the Cossack. He has been trying his darndest to at least contest the center, provide visibility and spotting wherever possible. Wow, that's a lot of AA to fly into against that Alaska and the Lion. And he does get a couple of torpedoes on the Lion, including something got incapacitated. I think an engine. I think the engine got taken out. Going to come back, try to get another strike in. You notice that Gate is starting to run with depleted squadrons. He has relatively few strike craft on deck. So he is losing planes very, very quickly. Gets a number of rockets on the Lion. I think he was probably hoping to get a fire set that would stick, because presumably the Lion would have um, used damage control with the incapacitation of his engine. But I think he was just losing too many planes trying to go after the Lion, so he's going to go over and go after this low health Colorado. Now, the Allies have gotten control of the outer ring, and they are getting points from that right now, so they've narrowed the point deficit a little bit. They still have a one-ship advantage. Are they going to get a two-ship advantage? Yes, they are, but it won't be to Gate. The Alabama takes down the Colorado. Gate's going to slide his ship forward here a little bit. He wants to make sure that he keeps the island between himself and the Alaska. Again, he's going to go after this Alaska, but you can notice that his plane squadrons are very, very depleted. The Graf Zeppelin takes down the Alabama, so the Allies still maintain a one-ship advantage. But is the Alaska gonna slip into the outer ring? Sure looks like it. Boy, he is losing planes. No, he's not even going to get any ships off, or any strike off. They're on the Alaska. Just the A is just so good on that ship. In fact, you could see the Graf Zeppelin has moved into the inner ring, so he's visible to the Allies as well. This is coming down to be a very close match. The Allies have narrowed. Oh man, I was going to say they had the ship deficit, or the point deficit, limited to fewer than 100 points, but the Benham takes down the Cossack. So again, hats off to the Cossack for doing his level best to keep the center contested, but the opponents have now moved into the center. There are no allies in the center now, and the opponents are going to take that, and that is going to rapidly advance their point lead. And now I go back to a point that I made at the beginning of the video, that it is really crucial to maintain contesting of all these areas, and if you fall behind like this, often the only way to win is going to be sinking all ships. Again, a strike that didn't materialize on the Alaska. He just lost all planes. I'm sure at this point Gate was probably very frustrated. Again, both this Alaska and Lion are still on the map, and remember how low health they were at the beginning of the match, at the beginning of the video. So this has really come back to bite the Allies, to let those low health ships stay alive up to this point. And the Lion is down to just a few hundred hit points from that strike from the Alaska. Now, the Allied Alaska, in my opinion, is playing too far from the objective. He needs to be closer. Although I'm not sure how much health he has, Gate is able to finally finish off the Lion, and that gives him his third kill. That Alaska is actually quite low on health, so maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing that he's playing and trying to work from some range. The Allies lose their black, and so now they are even on ships again, and their point deficit continues to widen. It's almost up to 300 points. There is the Benham. The Benham is probably headed for Gate, and Gates is going to come out here against the Alaska again, trying one more time, just a couple of planes. Is he going to get, one of the planes goes down. Is he going to get a torpedo away? I don't know. I didn't see a torpedo go off, but maybe it did get in the water. We'll see. And yes, he gets the Alaska, and that gives him his fourth kill, and it gives them a one-ship deficit. So now we have a relatively low health Benham, and the Donskoy is going after the Graf Zeppelin. They are down to 40 seconds in this game. Now the Benham, let's see, Gate is going to come in here with some rockets. Again, very depleted squadrons. He gets some damage, but not enough to kill the destroyer, sending out some torpedo bombers. This is going to be his last strike. In fact, it is a single plane. And the Benham, I don't think, is known for having very good AA. But he doesn't have to get much damage on this plane potentially to sink or to shoot down the plane and avoid the attack. And the torpedo is in the water. The torpedo is in the water, and we have a very important moment right here. The Donskoy sinks the Graf Zeppelin. The Graf Zeppelin has just gone down. There is a torpedo in the water on its way to the Benham. It finds its mark, and with 3 seconds remaining, The Allies win by the skin of their teeth. So a very late recovery. Kraken Unleashed and Confederate from Gatecamper in an epicenter match here on Northern Waters. So an excellent, very close match. Over 2,500 base XP. Very, very well done. Again, hats off to that Cossack, second on the team. And I think rightfully earned. That was really excellent play by that destroyer, as long as he was able to stay in and contest the center. So very good match. Thank you very much, Gate, for sharing with us. I hope everybody enjoyed the replay and the commentary. Please do leave your comments below. And as always, we hope to see you out there on the virtual seas, and we wish you happy sailing.